Have you had someone resurface recently, lightly, and then go back to being quiet? So this energy often tells a deeper story than the action itself. With the Three of Wands, they're observing, they're anticipating, they're watching from a distance, they're looking toward the horizon, they're aware of their connection, they're assessing whether stepping forward is wise. This is not a reckless pursuit, okay? It's being measured curiously. There is interest here, but also calculation, and they're trying to gauge timing and emotional climate before committing to more. They're retreating, contemplating, mentally processing. So after contact, if there's withdrawal, this doesn't necessarily mean rejection. They're pausing to reflect. So they could initiate lightly and then need space to think about it. They replay the interaction. They question their next move. So silence here is more about their internal processing rather than external dismissal. They have emotional hesitation, guarded feelings. They're feeling uncertain. There could have been a missed opportunity between you. There are feelings that they have, but they're not fully being embraced. They're asking themselves if they're ready for this. So they have emotional awareness, or they have awareness of their emotional depth, yet they're also resisting. So this can show fear of being vulnerable or fear of repeating past disappointment. They know that this connection requires reciprocity, balance, equal give and take. This dynamic is no longer one-sided. There's awareness now that if this connection moves forward, it must be mutual. So they're considering whether they can truly give what would be required. This is a shift from ego to fairness. There's a mutual bond, genuine connection. The connection itself is real. There is recognition on both sides. This is not illusion, but emotional resonance alone does not guarantee stability. It simply confirms that the bond exists. With the Seven of Wands reversed, they're avoiding defensiveness, lowering their guard, but they do have fear of confrontation. There is reluctance to step into conflict. They don't want to be challenged about the past. So they may not even want the past brought up. But you can't have a healthy dynamic moving forward without being able to calmly talk about the past. So they may desire peace, but fear accountability. This reversal shows exhaustion with fighting, but not necessarily mastery of conflict resolution. So they may have some regret, reflection here, grieving over what was lost. There's an acknowledgement of past mistakes. They recognize that something valuable was mishandled. However, regret is only the emotional beginning of growth. It's not yet proof of change. They may make a small but sincere effort, a grounded beginning. So if communication continues, it may come from in a modest way, not grand declarations, but practical, careful attempts. They could be testing whether a new foundation can be built slowly. There's clarity, boundaries, and emotional intelligence involved now. The energy across from this hesitancy, from their head, the energy across from their hesitancy is different now. Okay, there is discernment, directness, less tolerance for confusion from your side, probably. The dynamic cannot return to naivety. Truth is required. And accountability, and consistency, and respect of healthy boundaries. So there's a turning point, a karmic shift, a change in cycles, and this is possibly destined to happen. The old rhythm of this connection is shifting. There's fate involved, but so is growth. This is a transitional moment. The relationship cannot remain where it was. There's emotional fulfillment, long-term happiness potential here. The possibility for genuine happiness exists. This is what could be. Emotional alignment, shared joy, harmony, but potential requires participation. There's illumination here, clarity, authentic joy. Truth is being brought to light, but what is real will feel warm, clear, and undeniable. What is forced will feel exposed, and the sun removes illusions. Intuition, inner knowing, unspoken awareness. The deeper answers are already sensed. There's intuitive understanding of whether this connection is evolving or simply circling. And with the Two of Pentacles, they could be juggling priorities, instability, weighing options. So they may still be balancing internal conflict. They're not fully anchored. Their attention may be divided between fear and desire, past and future. There's inner growth, emotional regulation, gradual maturity. There's growth happening, but it's steady, not dramatic. They're learning to control impulses, learning patience. It takes time. Passion, impulsivity, inconsistent momentum. The desire here is strong. Chemistry is present, but this energy can rush forward and then retreat just as quickly. With the Knight of Wands here, it must be grounded before it can become sustainable. And with the Hierophant, this is commitment, structure, traditional values, long-term alignment. So there's contemplation of something serious, a desire for stability, but wanting commitment and embodying commitment are two different stages of development. And we've got the Emperor, stability, leadership, accountability, mature, masculine energy. Within this dynamic, the standard has risen. Stability is now required. Consistency is not optional. Accountability is not optional. If this connection continues, it must do so through structure, reliability, and leadership. And death as the overall energy. This is transformation, end of a cycle, irreversible change. The old version of this connection is over. The pattern of testing, retreating, breadcrumbing, emotional limbo, that cycle has reached its expiration. Death does not mean automatic loss. It means irreversible transformation. So this connection either evolves into Emperor energy, grounded, consistent, accountable, or it sheds completely. There's no returning to the previous dynamic. This is a metamorphosis energy. If both people rise, the connection transforms into something stronger. If one remains in hesitation or impulsiveness, the ending completes itself naturally. So when death oversees the Emperor energy, growth is mandatory. Watch behavior, consistency, watch follow through. Feelings alone are no longer enough. This is evolution or closure. Nothing in between. And if you would like a more personal reading, you can contact me through the link in my bio or through my link tree, direct message, or email. Sending you lots of love and light, piercing through the shadows. Namaste.